Hello.
Hello. Wait, I hmm, can can you guys see the people who just joined?
I
Yes.
think you have to be oh you're the host. You should be able to see like the attendees.
If you
Hmm.
click the participants at the bottom, you can see like the attendees on the
Oh, there
sidebar.
we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah, we have many people joining. Okay. Yeah. Why don't I just do a very quick introduction? Hello, everyone. We are the ambassadors of Viterbi at University of Southern California, and welcome to our coffee chat today, targeting a topic that's very interesting. We're going to be talking about, sorry, we're going to be talking about job opportunities and internship opportunities in today's market, and specifically what USC can provide you with. Um, so this is going to be very casual. How it works is that you guys, whatever questions you guys have, feel free to unmute yourself and oh, I have to allow you guys to talk. That's weird. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, feel free to unmute and talk to us about any of your questions, and we'll try our best to answer them. Thank you for coming. Or if you can't talk, you can always type your question in the chat, and we'll be able we'll be able to either type your answers there or you know speak up with your answers.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, hi Nia, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Cool. I am obviously a prospective Master of Computer Science student at USC, and of course, the various decisions are coming in. And I was just wondering, if anyone who feels comfortable sharing, I know it's a basic question, but in addition to why you chose USC, I was wondering what your experience has been for those who aren't used to LA or California and how you acclimated to both USC, but the surrounding areas, and of course, the academics.
I think a lot of
That's
us,
great.
that question applies to a lot of us. A lot of us are from different countries. A lot of us are not from, like maybe from different areas in the US. But for me, I'm from the UK, so completely different country, completely different place. Um, I definitely found that it was kind of difficult to get used to at first, whether that be like the weather, the culture, or like just in general. There's a lot of things that you might have to learn before coming, depending on how far you came. But I think in terms of acclimating to the local environment, it does take a while. I'm not sure how else to put it, but maybe someone else can like tag on to what I'm saying at the end. But I think what really helped me was finding a community at USC like very early on, seeing if I could talk to some people who are like more familiar with the area, like LA locals, or finding a group of people to explore LA together. I think is what really helped me. I can't actually remember the last part of your question. If anyone else remembers and can continue.
Yeah, that was wonderful. And Chelsea is actually our one of our CS ambassador here at Viterbi, and uh, I can give you a little bit about why I chose USC. USC was I came from a US domestic undergraduate background. I went to UC Irvine, also Emily Tron. Yeah, we love that school and we love USC even more. So for me, I chose USC basically because of the wonderful children network that we all heard about. Um, I always believed, even before I joined USC, I always heard a lot of stories about how children networks can help you guys, help us to grow our career and even find a job in today's market, as we all know is really hard. And I do believe that it did help me. It did provide me a lot of resources. Oh, Anteater, awesome. Um, yeah, Children Network actually helped us to, grow resources, grow network, and continue to expand our career opportunities here at USC. So yeah, that was the main reason why I chose here. And also, LA weather, California weather, you can't forget about that. I've been living in LA for in California for almost 6 or 7 years. I lived in Florida for 3 years, and that was totally different. It was a little bit too humid for me, but California is awesome for weather. Anyone else about why USC?
Yeah, I'd like to chime in as well. So I feel like my perspective's a bit different. So I'm doing aerospace and I literally started this spring. I've been here for just around 2 months now, and I feel like I'm still kind of settling into life in California. I'm from London and obviously the weather's amazing, and I think one thing that's important is just like finding your community, and it's actually very easy. There are so many societies and clubs that you can join. There's like something for everyone. Um, and I think like settling into LA and like a new place is definitely a journey, but with time it's so much easier. Like looking back a month ago from now, I'm definitely much more comfortable living in LA. So it's definitely not something to worry about. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Also, ambassadors, if you want to type in the questions and answer, some people like type their questions there, and we can, type them back there, if you want to do that, or we can answer it live. We have a question about what are recruiting fairs like? Are there a lot of LA-based aerospace companies like at recruiting events? Anyone from the aerospace background can want to answer about that?
I believe Simran is, but I think relatively new to this place. I'm not sure how many events you have attended before, but just from my experience, like going to some of the career fairs, I do see aerospace companies a lot at USC. Not sure, but you might have to check if they hire international students. If you are an international student, because that's something I do want to point out, just to be truthful, a lot of the companies like aerospace and defense and stuff, like for example, they don't tend to hire international students. And that's true regardless of where you go to school in America. That's not just a USC specific thing. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to point out. The recruiting fairs in general, I would say maybe everyone has a different experience, but in my opinion, the main recruiting fairs that happen, like the big one every single semester, I don't find it's worth my time going because maybe just me as an international student, the opportunities that you have as an international student are already so limited, and as a CS student as well, our cohort is so huge that you just end up standing like 3 hours in the sun, 2 hours in one queue for like one company, and then you get to the front of the queue, they don't even take your resume, they just like scan this QR code. So just
Okay.
I'm just being brutally honest here. The big ones, the big recruiting fairs, if you want to go, I've heard some success stories, but not many. In my opinion, they're not worth it. I would always recommend attend the smaller like recruiting fairs and events. We have a lot of those at USC, a lot of like small events where like companies come in, like we have I don't know, but we have a lot of companies come in. We have like some startups come in as well. We have like, for example, some conferences that are hosted there, and those are the events that you really want to be attending because those are the ones that people will actually come with like connection in mind, and want to talk to people. And I know people who have found internships like from that those conferences, those small events, and even I have been offered opportunities as well to connect with people at those events. So nothing, sorry I couldn't answer specifically about aerospace, but this is my general vibe.
I just wanted to really quickly add on to what Chelsea said. I agree with everything. There's a lot of tabling events that are company specific. Like I think Boeing just came to campus today and actually had a tabling event from like 10 to 2, like in the main area where most of the recruitment fairs are. There's also speakers that come that represent their companies, and those are company specific networking events as well. And then Viterbi also has a Viterbi career fair, which is a lot easier, in my opinion, to find a related job to your field rather than the general career fair. And there's also like events where alumni will come back and represent their companies, and so you can network that way as well.
Thank you so much, guys. So we have, please correct me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Diptanshu, you want to have a question?
Yeah, yes, I did have a question. So I'm actually from UCI. I'm doing my BS in CS right now. Actually, so zot.
Zot, zot.
Um,
Hey, yeah.
um, but yeah, I'm looking to do a master's in CS in USC. And so I wanted to ask, very related to the previous question, but like how does the Trojan Network really help with the job opportunities, and how do I best utilize the network to benefit my career? And I might be attending this program in person, but also online. I'm not really sure right now because of a job offer, but regardless, I just wanted to know how do I best utilize the network?
Can I confirm that if you are domestic or international?
I'm domestic.
Domestic. Oh, awesome. Uh, well, I can start. I have a very great example. So when I go and find jobs, I don't just go to my school career fairs, and I also go to other outside career fairs and conferences, stuff like that. The one thing that I realized that after I started to attend USC was that USC's name makes a difference at the very beginning. When we talk about Trojan um, network, the first thing I noticed was that Trojan's name makes a difference in your resume. And there was one time that I was, talking to this company called Microchip. They make chips. They're not like NVIDIA who are making, state-of-the-art chip, but like they're making good chips. So like there was one thing I noticed was that a lot of people were in line for their job application. However, when the recruiters, people from different schools go to the career fair, but people when they saw my resume stating USC on it, they realized that that was a little bit different. And they actually pointed it out and wrote my name down and reached out afterwards, just because of the USC's name. And I could, actually feel the recruiter's expression at that time. They were like, "Oh, wow, USC student. Okay, great. Yeah, let's talk about it. What did you do at USC, and what did USC help you along the way on preparing you for a job?" So that's something I tell a lot of people that personally, I feel that USC's name made a difference in my job hunting. Anyone else?
Yeah, actually, oh, yeah, go first.
Sorry. I was just, no, I know you're talking about job, but I do want to add to that point of how much of USC's brand name plays a role. I'm an international student, and when I was going for my visa interview, so the person was supposed to take my visa interview. The person was like really grumpy the entire time, and she was rejecting visas left, right. And I was super scared that my visa was also going to get rejected. But the moment I showed her my I-20 and she saw that I was from USC, her face lit up. And like, she was just very excited just to know that I'm from USC. And like, we had a whole conversation about it in the interview. So it's like such a small thing, but it really makes a difference. The brand name is really important.
Yeah, just to really quickly add on as well, coming from a UCI undergrad also, and then going into a USC master's, I feel like I've gotten a very different reception from employers. So when I like interview after like just going to UCI, I feel like no one mentioned the school really. It was just kind of like looking at your skills. But then when you talk to employers and hiring managers after coming to USC, they'll always bring up the school. And then you'll also see that a lot of people reaching out, like hiring managers, will also have a background that they went to USC, and they specifically look for USC students because they know that they're qualified to have the skills that, for the job. So it's really kind of a strange thing when you first come here and you realize that people will specifically look for USC students to recruit. But I think the USC Trojan Network is actually like a thing and it's really strong and it will help a lot in hiring.
I see. Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Thank you. Nia, you raised your hand.
Yes, I had another question in tandem
Yeah.
with the whole like networking and career fair events. I was wondering, I know USC of course has a lot of opportunities for networking career fairs, but does Viterbi offer one specifically for certain majors such as aerospace engineering or computer science? And how are you guys made aware of those events? Just through email or social media? How are you guys able to be knowledgeable about where to go and when?
Think I can answer that. We have two like the campus-wide career fairs every semester, and the first one gonna be like across all the faculties and all the majors, and the second one is gonna be specifically for the viterbi, and but we don't have like the event for a specific program, but it's just like for the viterbi for the engineering school. And so two career fairs per semester. And for your program, for example, I'm from the analytics program, and like for every month, like our program will have our own networking event. Like we will invite some alumni graduated from our program, uh, like currently in industry, and they'll come back and share their experiences. And also, you can ask for their insights for your job hunting process.
Thank you.
I do want to add on to that though. I think mainly USC uses Handshake, and there's like a search bar on Handshake for the events. And if you search up Viterbi, many events come up, but like a lot of those events are like categorized by like, oh, like I think CS majors should come or mechanical engineers should come. And so I've actually attended a lot of those events for like Adobe and for like aerospace. I've seen SpaceX and Boeing ones, and those or at least the ones I've been to because I'm a CS student. Those look for CS masters. And so, like, they'll pretty much talk about internships that like relate to you. And so, I think Handshake for USC is very big. At least I'm on there a lot. So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. We can move on to some questions in the Q&A section. So we have a question about can internship help with tuition? Are there on-campus job part-time at USC? Chelsea, you want to take
Yeah,
that?
I think I clicked to answer live by accident, but I can answer this one. So
Okay.
yes, there are on-campus jobs, part-time jobs at USC. Unfortunately, I feel like with just on-campus jobs, it probably isn't going to be enough to cover the tuition because it's no like it's not like really a secret that USC's tuition is rather high. But um I see another question as well. Yeah, so there are lots of on-campus jobs. The way that you typically find on-campus jobs, there will be an on-campus job fair at the beginning of every semester. You can also like keep your eye out on Handshake or some jobs like specifically maybe like at the library or something they post only on their website, so sometimes you might have to do a bit of digging, but definitely the first thing I would recommend is that on campus job fair because that's where most jobs will advertise themselves, and in terms of like living like everyday living costs, I think definitely having that on campus job can help, or an internship help with tuition. But if you are expecting to pay tuition entirely from that, it is going to be rather difficult. I see you also had a question about CPT. Does the program or department help in attaining the job needed for CPT, or does the student need to research on their own? So I think with this question, you do have to find the job yourself, but of course, the school offers a lot of resources, as we've been talking about, to help you find that job, whether it's like events, networking events, career fairs, like just the network in general, things like this. Uh, and yeah, so you do have to find that work yourself. I'm not sure if anyone has any extra points. Roger, do you have anything else to
Yeah,
say?
that's I think that's perfect. Yeah. So we do have to find CPT jobs on our own. Um yeah, like we do have a lot of resources as we talked about before, like different events and different career fairs for it. So yeah. Um and usually is you can get your CPT after if you're like international. So after 2 semesters, you'll be able to start to apply for CPT. And you can apply one for the summer, you can apply one for the spring or fall semester as you want. For spring and fall semester, if it is not your last semester, you'll have to do your CPT part-time. Okay. Sorry, Brian. I'm so sorry. I forgot to unmute you before. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. Thank you for inviting me to speak. I am in the process of deciding between Viterbi and another engineering school, and I the reason why I applied to Viterbi is mainly because of the research activities here, not only at Viterbi but also at the Keck School of Medicine, and my future goal is to either do MD medical doctor or do MD PhD. So can you talk more about like research activities here and how students at Viterbi can like not only participate in research at Viterbi but also like other like interdisciplinary research? And do you know if has any students from the past that graduated from Viterbi and then go to Keck School of Medicine for MD? Thank you.
Out of curiosity, what program would you come to Viterbi for? Would it be like computer science? Are you trying to work with medical data, or would it be more like biomedical engineering?
It's I so it's biomedical engineering.
Okay. I think my advice would be a little bit different just because I'm from a data science background. So I have worked in a research lab at USC, and it was mainly concerning health data, and using machine learning for health data. So I've worked with like data from the Keck School of Medicine, but it would probably be a bit different for you. However, I know that the research scene is really big here. You can probably just look up labs by name and be able to cold email the professors. I know that in the CS and data science department, you get weekly newsletters where you're updated with research labs that are looking for students to join. I'm not exactly sure how it works in the biomedical engineering major, but if anyone else is able to speak on that, yeah.
So like we do have a very close friend, Labiba, who's in the biomedical
Yeah.
industry, but she's not here today. Uh, well, it's just like what Emily was saying. We do have a lot of research opportunities, and once you join USC, you are actually going to receive emails from the Viterbi department, saying, okay, there is this kind of openings open for research assistant or uh, research positions for either undergrad or master students or PhD students, then you'll be able to join. Or the easiest way for a lot of students that they just reach out to professors themselves, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to actually uh, have the professor responding to your email because they're usually busy. But most of the people, if they want to have a research, they'll get one at the end of the day. For MD, the question, I'm not too sure about the medical part of Viterbi, but as long as I know, because I'm from ECE, electrical engineering, um, every cohort of us will have probably 5% of students moving from master to a doctor in the end. Uh, that number is actually pretty high, just considering not many people would really like to have a doctor degree at the end of the day. But like our professors, at least from my department, are always willing to take students from their MS master students because they're used to the school already. So it's better to hire from the
Um,
inside than
I'm
outside.
sorry. When you say doctor, you mean like a MD or you mean PhD?
Oh, sorry. I think I meant PhD, not MD.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You'll when you go into USC, you also get ha access to Handshake, like Aster mentioned earlier. And a lot of the times, Keck will also post roles that they're looking for students to fill. I've seen roles where it's like engineering related, different types of engineering. So you can also get direct access to Keck while you're a master's student here.
And I do believe, like, even though biomed is under Viterbi, a lot of the people who are in biomed engineering do work closely with CAG medicine anyway. There are a lot of labs that have interdisciplinary projects. Even a lab that I was trying to work with, I was going to work with, they had like they were working with the communication school, they were working with CAG medicine, a lot of interdisciplinary research does happen. So if you're looking just to get to know some like work that's going on between your discipline and also further like in Keck medicine, if you want to like do something with them afterwards, I think that's definitely possible. I don't see why you can't get involved with them even if you're at Viterbi.
I see. Thank you so much.
Actually, if you are interested, you can reach out afterwards and we'll try to connect you with someone from biomedical engineering background.
That would be great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
We can move on, I think. Akansha, do you want to answer your question live or do you want to type it?
Yeah, I mean, I was just typing it, but I think it's just easier to answer it live.
Okay.
So, regarding the on-campus jobs, I believe that you can start looking up on Handshake. Once you accept the offer, you will have the access to the portal. And other, like, obviously check out department websites. And one thing that I've heard and has also like worked out for me also in some aspect is just like taking your resume and trying to approach the manager if they're free, like, try connecting with them and ask about like if they have any openings. You can visit every department, every building, somewhere or the other. You might find some of the other on-campus jobs. And while the pay might not be enough for you to pay your tuition fee, but I believe that it's enough for you to like manage your monthly expenses over here, and I think that should be good. And regarding off-campus jobs, again, attend all the career fairs, look into department-specific info sessions or fairs that you might have or clubs that you can join. Always reach out to people on LinkedIn or any other, wherever you meet professionals, try to connect with them. It always really helps. Follow up, get in touch, because one referral can literally end you up with a job. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And now we're gonna move on to Nia. What were the challenges of, oh, sorry, I skipped one.
There's
How do you
the
obtain graduate teaching? Yeah.
yeah.
Jinchi, do you
I
want to
think I
answer
can
that?
answer this one. And I think Emily and Kevin they already answered for the part of the research assistant for that part. And also like I know some friend they are doing RA right now. They like looking for open positions on the lab's official website and cold email the professor like if they need master students to assist for their research. And if the professor that there's a fit between you and the lab, and they're gonna reach out to you for an interview. And for the graduate teaching, I think there's two ways where you can be the grader or the course producer for a class. First, if you got a really good grade in the class with that professor, and they gonna reach out to you either by the professor or the teaching assistant to you, like said, if you want to be the grader or course producer for the next semester. And also, if you think you did a pretty good job in that class previously, you can email the professor that you have to be part of the uh, class for the incoming semester, and they're gonna take you into consideration. And sometimes you just send your resume, or they're gonna have a brief interview with you. So those are two ways for you to have graduate teaching course producer grader positions.
Thank you
You
very
want to
much.
point out though that specifically for research assistants and like TAs and RAs, those positions are reserved only for PhD students in Viterbi. So if you're doing a master's degree, those positions are not going to be available for you. That doesn't mean that you can't get involved with research because there are still paid like lab positions for master students. It's a little bit odd. I'm not sure like exactly how to describe it, but you just have to look out for those opportunities, usually in emails, because the labs who have those opportunities and do offer them, they will send it through the newsletter every week, I think. I'm not sure, but they will be sending those positions in the emails. But specifically for TA, like that would be just for PhD students. You can, like Tinty mentioned, do course producer and like grader opportunities though as a master student.
Sounds great. Well, we have another Nia, you raised your hand. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Yeah, sorry for all the questions, y'all, but I'm just curious while I have the time. I was also wondering, I know in tandem with networking, I was wondering if any of you were okay sharing your experiences in the class and just networking and meeting your peers in your day-to-day classes, and how you feel, if at all, professors and your coursework helped you with preparing for job opportunities or internships.
Anyone want to take that?
I think what I want to say, as someone who had some time between my undergrad and my grad school, I found the experience a little bit jarring at first because I feel like in grad school, a lot of people they already have their like circle of friends, they already have like everything else in their life sorted out, so they're not really looking to make friends as much as they were in undergrad. So it was definitely at first a little bit disheartening. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you mean, but um it was definitely I definitely think that you do need to put in more effort to connect with your peers in the classroom environment itself, not like in extracurricular, like in clubs and stuff, but in the classroom, you might have to be the one to reach out to people, to like start a conversation with other people, because a lot of people, they just come here, they do the class and then they leave like straight away. People don't tend to hang out as much as they do like after classes as they did in undergrad. Maybe like um later on you'll start spotting it, but at the beginning you might have to put a bit more effort into it, which is something that I guess I didn't really expect there to be too much of a difference going in to grad school, but that is something that I noticed. And in terms of like the classroom experience, it really depends on what class you take, because there are some classes that are huge, like the required courses, for example. I'm speaking as a CS student, and I believe you mentioned that you were looking into going to NSCS. So hopefully
Yes,
this
master's
yes,
computer
yeah, hopefully
science.
this is relevant. So yeah, there are some big classes like required classes. They are usually like 350 students per class, or like 200 students. And um those classes, it is a bit overwhelming at first. And at the beginning of class, it might be quite difficult to access the professor because of the sheer like amount of students there are. But you do find like towards the middle of the semester, people start going out to the professor during the break. And then like my professors were even complaining in a class of um 250 to 350 students. My professor was complaining that no one was turning up to his office hours. So there's not like limited opportunity to talk to them, because even though we have such a big cohort, not everyone takes advantage of those opportunities, including me. Actually, I don't really show up to office hours, but anyway, basically, you do have the opportunity to connect with your professors if you do want to. Generally speaking, every professor, every TA that I have reached out to has been really responsive. So I don't think that's a huge worry to have. And then there are some classes that I'm taking also that have like only 25 students. So it is a very big variety. It really depends on the class itself. Yeah.
I would
Thank
say
you.
that at the master's level, a lot of classes will have a lot of group projects. So in that regard, it is really easy to meet people and work with them for a semester and then like get closer to them. Um, so that's really helpful. And then a lot of the professors will also keep in touch with students after they graduate. So sometimes they're able to like connect you to those alumni students and like help you networking that way as well.
Thank you.
I have a I want to add on that because I think I was a little bit weird when I started to joining master. How I thought about this was like I felt like everyone around me was a potential competitor, so I wasn't trying to make any friends, which was wrong because you can't be doing this by yourself. You can't be in this job market alone. So then I realized that it would be much easier to, go ahead and find a group of friends who would, have the same goal as you, and that made everything easier. So that was a little bit of my insight. Um, okay. Oh, sorry, Nia, you had another question about the challenges of finding housing in and around USC as grad students. Are there groups for finding roommates? Um, I actually don't live nearby USC. Anyone want to take this?
Yeah, I can answer. Um, so I would say like a big challenge is that housing is pretty competitive, at least from what I've seen. But USC does have I guess like on campus dorms for grad students, but there's also multiple apartment companies that rent apartments around USC. Like I currently live in one right now. And as for finding roommates, one of my good friends actually found both of her housemates on like a Facebook group, and she gets along with them very well. I actually found my housemate on Discord, but she's the sweetest person I've ever met. I love her. I guess the only challenge I would say is the competitiveness, but other than that, there are lots of resources for housing around USC.
Thank you.
Awesome. Mm, okay. Yeah, so we have another one that's about advice for doing an online MS degree. Is it similar resources? Uh, yes, I think, yeah, so for this one, for online, you'll still have all the resources that, on-campus students have. However, you want to be able to join a lot of in-person events, such as recruiting events. Just last year, the big tech company that I can count of, almost all of them came on campus having some kind of recruiting events. For example, Meta, Google. Of course, you will have to fight for the seats because there aren't a lot of seats for those really good events. But they're usually in person, and you'll be able to meet their engineers. You'll be able to meet their recruiters in person. So that makes a total difference, I feel like. A lot of people, at least for my classmates who are doing online MS, they're doing it just because they're having a full-time job and they want have a part-time MS through USC and doing it online. They're usually not located in LA. But for those of them who are in LA themselves, they usually attend in person.
And for MSCS, as a MSCS student, during my courses, our online students are like on Zoom at the same time as us. Like we're watching the exact same lecture, like at the same time. For group projects, you also get to interact with in-person students. You'll just meet them on Zoom and whatnot. So I would say that it's pretty similar for MSCS students.
Sounds great. So Emily, do you think we should have a car on campus?
So it is really nice to have a car, but as long as you live within walking distance of campus, I don't think it's necessary. Um, I would say if you're worried about the safety component of like having a car to like get home safely and things like that from campus, and you're not living near enough, like maybe you should have a car. But if you're living within like a 15-minute walking distance from campus, it's not bad. Um, if you don't know about the Lyft program, USC students get free lifts between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. within 2 miles of campus. So you never have to walk in the dark. So I wouldn't be concerned about like being scared at nighttime or anything like that. If you don't have a car, just be smart about using public transportation. Like, obviously, don't use it at night because LA can be a little sketchy in some areas. But in general, I would say around campus, it's like pretty safe because there's students walking around all the time, and at night you have the lift. Um, if you want to go out and explore LA, however, it would be really nice to have a car, but also just be aware of like the parking because it sucks. So sometimes having a car is also not nice in LA because you could just Uber and avoid the parking and the towing and all of that stuff. So it's just a trade-off, I guess.
Yeah, but I would say having a car is just wonderful. Well, for example, Jinchi, do you want to talk about how wonderful it is to have a car?
Yeah, this is my last semester, and I just got this car this semester. So,
Awesome.
because previously I I took metro, like the public transportation, to the tennis court off campus every day to play just to play tennis. But right now I have a car, so it saves a lot of trouble. And also,
Yeah.
you can drive to like on a road trip like anytime you want with your friend. You don't need to bother like when and how should I rent a car. But it's a trade-off. It's a lot of trouble, like where and how much you're gonna pay on the parking fees. So,
Yeah, that's
for
true.
example, I live around campus, like 15 minutes walk from campus. So I never drive to USC. So I just walk to USC. But I still need to like pay for $125 per month for the parking spots at my place. And also,
Ah,
if you correct me if I'm wrong, you need to pay around like $600 to park on campus every semester. So if you live around campus and you don't have like the, the need of driving car every day, I say like just take the public transportation and walk to campus every day to save some money. And if you want to go out, maybe uh, Uber or Lyft is more economical for yourself. And also take the advantage of the friends who has a car.
Brian, do you have something to add?
Sorry, I just wanted to add to the
Oh, go ahead.
previous one that most of my friends pretty much have like electric scooters or bikes or they skate. So even if you don't have a car, like you can also get those options which are much cheaper and could be easier to store. Yeah.
That's true. I have a scooter too. Brian, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, thank you. I have this question for Emily. Since she told me that she said that she was doing research related to the Keck School of Medicine. Um, I'm from Minnesota, so like a 7.5 miles traveling in Minnesota is like 10 minutes. And I recently just discovered that traveling from Viterbi to Keck is like 30 a 30-minute
Yeah.
drive. And then
It's
like
one
by
hour
bus
with traffic. Yeah.
and then by bus would be like an hour. And I'm low-key worried about that. In terms of like, am I wasting my time if I there's a lab that I the professor and we talked about like I got an interview there and then they want me to be there, but like I was just worrying about like the commute. So do you have
Yeah,
any advice for me?
that's a good question. So Keck is a little bit of a distance from the main USC campus. Depending on how often you would do research there and if you would have to be in person, you could also live by Keck and then drive to campus whenever you have class and arrange your classes so that you have them on the same days. Because I think for engineering, you only take two classes at once as a master's student to be full-time. And so if you put them like on example for Tuesdays and Thursdays, then you would only have to commute that time like twice a week. Um, what else was I gonna say? I don't know if that was helpful, but the traffic does suck. Just look up what times are off hours and you're going against the traffic. There's no real way to avoid it, but I think having a car would help if you're always moving between Keck and the main campus.
I do want to say that there is a USC like shuttle bus to Keck. So if you look up the schedule for that, it pretty much runs all year round apart from like certain holidays. So they come like generally speaking every half an hour. So if you want to take advantage of that as well, you might not even need a car, but it is recommended because yeah, I feel like as much as if you want to just stay around campus, it's nice. If you can just get by with a scooter, like I have a scooter as well. But if you want to go anywhere outside, Uber is really expensive, Lyft is really expensive. If you want to be like doing journeys constantly, it's probably better to have a car.
What about
Perfect.
Waymo? Is it expensive?
Waymo is like sometimes more expensive in certain hours, but generally speaking, I found it to be less expensive, especially like coming from the airport, like LAX. If you take an LAX flyaway shuttle to like Union Station and then you take a Waymo from Union Station back to USC, that's only like $14. But if you use like if I was when I was trying to book with like Lyft or Uber, it was like 33 or like something, so it was like
Hmm.
double the cost. It depends from where, but generally speaking, like Waymo is cheaper, I would say.
Gotcha.
So, how do you enjoy the city without a car?
I like just used like I used public transport at the start, but as someone coming from like a different place with better public transport, I really don't like the public transport in LA. Unfortunately, like it is something as Junsi said, like take advantage of your friends who have cars. Make friends who have cars. That like the metro is more reliable. Like if you want to take the subway to places, it comes like more frequently than the buses. Like the buses are relatively unreliable. There are some places that you can get like car like if you get to by metro, but it is unfortunately I feel like it's a downside of LA. Some people don't, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I just wanted
Mhm.
to add that I'm pretty new here and obviously like as Chelsea said, we're used to like pretty good transportation back in the UK. Initially it was kind of scary. I would say like taking the bus, for example, like I wouldn't do that in the nighttime. However, most of the places I've been, I've just been with my friends. I feel like if you're with someone, it's fine. And a lot of places are actually way more accessible than it seems. I feel like there's quite a stigma to the transport in LA. And I think it's definitely getting better with like the Olympics and the popularity of LA right now. And even I was talking to one of my flatmates who's been here since like 4 years ago. She was saying it's gotten much better over the years. And then again, the USC also has their shuttle. It doesn't just go to the health science campus, it also goes to like Santa Monica, downtown. Um, and they run throughout the week. And then, yeah, I also have a friend who has a car, so that's quite a nice luxury.
Well,
Yeah.
Chelsea, I thought Chelsea was gonna say we're all engineers, we don't have fun. So we're all gonna just stay at home and study. Anyways, Ryan, what do you want to say?
No, I'm just trying to say that I take public transport all the time. I kind coming from a country that has way better public transport than this place. But I have a hot take. I don't think LA public transport is that bad. Honestly, you can get anywhere you want. I heard some of my friends they took public transport to Malibu, which is around an hour and a half, which is not worse than driving a car because with traffic, it's way past an hour and a half to get to Malibu. So I don't think public transport is that a bad option, but just to make sure your safety is your priority because LA public transport can be very sketchy at night. Do not do that. Especially at night, just take the Uber or Lyft or way more back home. Just don't do it at night. Yeah, for a safety issue.
I want to say like I as someone who like planned that trip to Malibu as well, like by public transport, if you go by like as I said like subway, like metro is usually perfectly fine, just like stay with friends. But if you do take like buses, for example, if they come, that's great. You'll be fine. But sometimes they lie to you. So like sometimes buses just don't come. So if you do want to get somewhere by public transport, generally speaking, you're gonna be fine, but just plan extra time in case there's delays or anything. But yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Cool. Nia, do you have a question?
Yes, I had a question primarily for Aster and anyone else who's in the computer science track. I was wondering what courses so far you think have prepared you best, not only for maybe more algorithmic or technical interviews, but also what will prepare you once you graduate for full-time opportunities, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm actually on the AI track, but my course load like meshes with like the general CS track. I think the best class I've taken so far, because this is only my second semester, is Advanced Data Structures and Algorithms, which I think is required for all CS students. Um, this class was very hard, but it low-key made me like a lead code demon. It was so good in teaching me like data structures, algorithms. Um, and it like in the class, the way you study is low-key by doing lead code, which so since it goes hand in hand, it really helped me especially during recruiting season. Um, I did lots of interview loops with like bigger tech companies, and one of them actually asked a question that we went over in class. So I would say that that class really helped me. As for my other classes, I'm taking mostly machine learning, deep learning. So if you were interested in AI ML engineering, those would help with careers in that later on by teaching you the fundamentals. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a lead code run right now, so I was honestly just wondering also, I've heard about that course and I was wondering if it's helps you and actually prepares you, but it's great to know that it actually can help you and it's literally can be applied to getting you that
Yeah.
career and that internship or full-time job. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah.
We had a another ambassador who left like about 3 semesters ago, and she literally said that during her interview, like she works at Meta now, but during her like interview process and stuff, she kept going back to that algorithms class, like the textbooks and the work that we did in class because it was like really helpful. I really want to go back and take that again because I feel like I didn't pay attention enough the first time because looking back at the material, it is actually really helpful. So definitely pay attention in that class.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, I do also want to note that there are like some special topic classes as well, and some PhD level classes that you can take if you're not on a specific track, for example. I'm on the general track, and you're pretty free to take those classes. I think you can take up to 2 PhD level classes as an MSCS student. And I have really been enjoying those. And for someone in my position, I'm currently doing an internship in like AI, LLM, stuff like that, field in general, NLP field in general. And I took 2 PhD level classes that were in that field as well. And it's really, really helping me in what I'm doing right now. And there should be some classes available for you as well, depending on like your interests. Um, yeah, I have a lot of crossover between my internship and my school coursework, so which is nice.
Cool, thank you again.
Awesome. So we're almost, we have 5 more minutes. I think we're okay to do like 2 to 3 more questions, I guess. And then we'll have to wrap up. But like, yeah, so far it's been like very interactive. Divyanshu, what do you have?
Yeah, this is just a question for Aster, I guess. I did get into MSCS in AI, so is there any benefit or as such in terms of course registration for AI courses? Like, is it sought after, or do you get, say, priority if you have the AI, or if your general track, it's fine as well?
In terms of priority, there is no specific priority that comes with registering in classes, but I do think that a lot of people in the CS general track usually don't take the AI classes, like they can, but there's so many electives for the general track, whereas the AI track is more like structured, where I have been able to get all my classes for the semesters I'm in and next semester, so I would say you wouldn't have to worry about that too much.
I see. Thank you.
I I want to double check on that. Maybe we can double check on that because I was told that like special track students do get priority for the classes like that are on their track specifically. That might just mean that you are higher up in the queue compared to us because I know that some of my like AI specialist like friends do get classes that I don't get even though we register at the same time, but I'm not like 100% on that, but you should generally be able to get the classes that you want. For us general students, we are like behind everyone on the I believe we are behind everyone on the list. I'm not sure if it's changed because this stuff does change like rather quickly, but yeah, if you're on a specific track, generally it's not a problem for you to register for your classes.
I'm doing aerospace with the AI and machine learning special track, and I know for our program we do have special priorities, and like when I was trying to apply for a PDP one, they didn't let me do it. They said it's only reserved for those people. And then I have special courses that only I can access and I have priority for. So yeah.
Nia, you had your hands up?
Yeah, this is my last question, somewhat unrelated, but I was wondering, especially for some people who are also international, just locally with the food at USC, are there places where you can find places maybe around your culture or foods, places that you like to eat off campus that are really good that you recommend or make it like, feel like home?
I'm gonna be really, really honest with this question. Maybe you guys can disagree with me, but around USC, I feel like the Chinese food options specifically are very limited. I would say like if you want to get good Chinese food, you have to go all the way up to like St. Gabriel, Arcadia area. So this is where you go find that friend of yours that has a car. Um, but like in terms of like other cuisine, like someone else can speak to that. Does anyone want to pick up your cuisine?
Yeah, I think I can talk about Indian. Even though we do have like a couple of Indian restaurants around USC, but they aren't that good to be honest. So yeah, it's like you said, find a friend with a car, drive all the way to Artesia, and just have good Indian food. So.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the general consensus is just like, do we have food around campus? Yes, but it's like okay. So like just you just have to do your research to find food because LA is like a huge hub for good food, but it might be really far just because LA is huge as well. So you might find like little restaurants that are like really good, but it'll just be like a big travel.
Got it. Thank you.
We have great street tacos though. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
there
the
are
tacos
good
are really
tacos
good.
everywhere. Um, but yeah. Any last question? One more. Let's go. That was awesome. That was a great panel. No, the taco stand right across. Yeah. Oh, I
City
didn't know
taco
that.
is actually really good as
Mm,
well. Like every Tuesday I'm there. The shrimp taco
mm.
is so good.
Yeah. Well, so in the end, so as you guys probably saw, I have a link in the chat. That link is for you to reach out to us later on if you have any additional questions later, or if you have any personal questions you want to ask about like, personal experiences and then such. Feel free to reach out and if there's no more questions, we're gonna call it a day. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Hope
guys.
to see you guys on campus.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye, guys. Bye.